There's a point where a kitchen choice doesn't suddenly become bad. It just starts quietly annoying you, like little mice. Actually, mice aren't annoying, they're terrifying. The thing is, nothing dramatic happens. You don't wake up one day hating your kitchen. It just stops helping. And over time, that becomes very hard to ignore. That's how kitchen trends actually end. They don't crash and burn, they fade once people live with them long enough. And in 2026, what I'm seeing isn't homeowners chasing what's next as much as they're stepping away from very specific decisions that no longer make sense. Not because they were wrong at the time, but because the context around them has changed. One of the clearest examples of this is those ultra bright, clean whites everywhere. Not white kitchens as a category, kitchens where everything is high LRV white, because white felt like the safest option. Cabinets, walls, trim, ceilings, all stacked in brightness. These kitchens were designed to look clean, but in real life, they often feel sterile, stark, and unresolved. The space can feel more like a blank canvas that never got finished than a kitchen that feels intentional. People are realizing that clean doesn't automatically mean calm, and a kitchen that feels sterile doesn't actually make daily life easier. People are quietly moving away from safe neutrals that only work on paper. These are colors chosen almost entirely to avoid mistakes. In a vacuum, they technically work. Undertones that behave, LRVs that make sense, nothing clashes. But emotionally, the kitchen feels flat. There's no warmth, no depth, no sense of grounding. These colors don't support living, they simply exist to prevent regret. Kind of a bummer. Over time, that neutrality starts to feel quite empty. Kitchens, they're too active, too central a space in the home for colors that don't actually contribute anything meaningful to the space. Cool gray as that fallback neutral fits directly into this shift. It's important to understand why it became popular in the first place. Gray didn't show up randomly. It did on my sweater, apparently. It worked extremely well when stainless steel appliances dominated kitchens. Stainless steel, cool gray, and bright white, they all reinforce each other. The result was clean, modern, and fairly predictable. And for a long time, that was exactly what people wanted. The problem is that kitchens evolved. Wood came back. Stone became warmer and more expressive. Mixed metals replaced those single finish spaces. Lighting softened. In that environment, gray stopped acting like a connector and started acting like an interruption. It no longer bridges materials the way it used to, and that's why people are letting it go. Gray wasn't wrong. Don't hate on gray. It just stopped solving the problem it was hired to solve. A lot of the kitchen regret I see comes down to one thing. People choosing colors that technically worked on paper, but didn't actually work in real life. Kitchens are brutal for that. Lighting changes constantly, materials bounce color everywhere, and what looks fine on a tiny swatch can fall apart once it's on a larger surface. This is why sampling properly matters more in kitchens than almost any other room. Being able to test a real paint color next to your cabinets, your counters, and your backsplash, and see it over a few days tells you way more than a paint chip ever will. That's why I like Samplize. Their peel and stick samples let you test actual Benjamin Moore, Farrow and Ball, and Sherwin-Williams colors without committing to paint. You can move them around your kitchen, see how they behave in different light, and avoid locking yourself into a choice you'll regret later. I'll put a Samplize link down below if you want a smarter way to test colors before making a permanent decision. And thank you, Samplize, for sponsoring today's video. Cabinet colors chosen to be the personality of the kitchen are another decision people are backing away from. After years of sterile kitchens, the pendulum swung hard in the opposite direction. Cabinets became this emotional anchor, the bold move meant to fix everything. Deep blues, even greens, and trendy neutrals, they were all chosen because they felt expressive and confident and purposeful. The issue, however, is permanence. Cabinets do not age the way trends do. Once that color starts to feel a bit tired, the entire kitchen feels tired. Everything else is forced to orbit in that one direction. People are realizing that cabinets don't need to carry the entire identity of the space. Kitchens that age well build personality through materials, texture, and layering, not one dominant cabinet color. Although it is kind of the easy way out sometimes. People are not choosing glossy kitchens anymore. High gloss cabinets, shiny backsplashes, and reflective finishes layered throughout the space look incredible on day one, but they become exhausting over time. Gloss highlights fingerprints, wear, and lighting issues immediately. Every single mark shows. Every imperfection announces itself. What starts as sleek quickly turns into high maintenance. People are choosing finishes that forgive living, softer sheens, quieter surfaces, materials that age instead of constantly reminding reminding you that you touched something. The shift isn't about style, it's more so about comfort and sustainability. Designing kitchens in isolation is also something people are quietly moving away from. Kitchens that look good on their own but have nothing to do with the rest of the house are starting to feel disconnected. Different undertones, unrelated palettes, abrupt transitions. For years, this was easy to ignore. Open concept living made it impossible. When a kitchen sits next to a warmer living space or softer adjacent rooms, the disconnect becomes extremely obvious. People want cohesion now. They want their kitchen to feel like it belongs to the house. Who would have thought? Not like it was dropped in from a different design universe. Designing kitchens as part of the whole home is replacing the idea of the kitchen as a standalone statement. Stainless steel, bright whites, cool grays, high gloss finishes, they worked when kitchens were treated as separate zones. But that approach does not hold up anymore. Homes want continuity. People want spaces to transition naturally, not reset emotionally every time they cross a threshold. And this is the thread that ties all these abandoned choices together. People are not rejecting modern kitchens, they're rejecting kitchens that feel emotionally empty, inflexible, or disconnected from real life. The kitchens people stop thinking about, the ones that quietly support daily routines, are the ones that actually last. And that's what people are choosing away from when they let these older decisions go.